Continuing work on my 1/4 scale black costume Spider-Man. I have assembled him, and on putting the right arm at the elbow, if I glue it the way it wants to go, this hand is going to be a lot higher on the gravestone than the other one, and it didn't look quite right. So what I did was I glued it in place in this way. After I removed the putty that I'd already applied, I glued here to help support it and in the back, and I'm going to fill that gap in with A's epoxy. So some sculpting coming up. I've also been working on the seam of the right ankle, and that's coming along. But all in all, he looks good, so more to come. Hello again, fellow modelers. Armando here from DLC Model Builders. Yet another figure build being started. This is the Spider-Man Black Costume 1/4 scale resin kit based on issue 38, the issue 38 cover of Sensational Spider-Man, where he is on top of Eddie Brock's tomb. This is a gorgeous kit. Just got it today. As you can see, it is huge. And if you look up the cover, you will see what I mean. He is all black with the white symbols for the spider, and on his wrists. This is during his period when he was wearing a black costume. This was after Venom, as I recall, but to be honest, a lot of those characters were introduced after I had stopped collecting comics, so I didn't keep up with them as much as I would have liked to. However, this is a beautiful kit, and as soon as I saw it, I knew it would go up on the top of my list. So I'll be doing this concurrently with the Deadpool and probably the Horizon Joker. Just wanted to give you guys a view before I do anything to the kit. All I've done is wash it. As you can see, as with any resin kit, there is some prep work to be done. Those are contact flash creases and rises where the two halves of the mold join together. See, there's one on either side, and they're fairly common in these garage kits. Now I will be finding out who to credit this sculpt to. Right now I don't know who it is. I've got a question out to the gentleman I purchased it from at the Clubhouse forum. Wonderful forum for figure kit builders interested in that stuff. It's a great resource for tips, tricks, builds, and obtaining really cool kits. I've obtained some of the coolest kits I've been searching for some time in the forum, including this one. So I highly recommend you guys check it out. Anyway, this is the 1/4 scale black costume Spidey. I'll talk to you later. Back with black uniform Spidey. Okay, after a couple hours of work, plenty of sanding and epoxy and more sanding and more puttying and primering, I think I've gotten it to the point where it looks pretty darn good. That's where the gap used to be. For the most part, you can't really tell much. Some little blemishes there, here and there. I'm going to accept those. Also, the seam here is pretty much gone. There was a seam there, believe me. And this one looks pretty good. So what I did was I took the Aves epoxy. This stuff is mixed It comes in 2 parts. I just mixed, well, this is the first ball that I mixed. The second one I mixed is still a little malleable because I used it for the fingers of Leia, but that's in another video build log. Anyway, I mixed just a little bit, enough to fill that in, and shaped it with my finger and a spatula as best I could, and allowed it to harden. Within an hour or so, this stuff gets as hard as a rock. And I measured it by taking the remainder, making a little ball out of it, and just feeling it to see when it was hard enough to sculpt. Then I just sanded it. It sands just like any other material, and whatever blemishes or gaps were left, I just puttied and sanded over again after I primered. As you can see, the result is excellent. So he's ready for masking. You place him on the tombstone, Eddie Brock's tombstone. He looks really cool. So anyway, I'll be following this build. This was by John Alred. Let me pull it up here. It's on the Clubhouse. The kit was commissioned by his handle is Spawny, but his name is Joe Quoto, I believe. Let me look up his email because I want to credit him correctly. He has some really cool kits. I'm gonna be definitely obtaining a couple more kits from him, and I'll be doing them in the future. Joe Ducoto, here we go. Seems like a pretty nice guy. We've corresponded a couple of times, and I got this kit from him, so I'll be following this build. The paint job, at least on him, is fairly easy. It's just black and white. A little bit of tedious masking of those spiders on the chest, but that's alright. I've done more difficult stuff. The tombstone actually looks like it might be a bit more difficult. I'm going to have to play with those effects there to make it look like marble. But it'll be fun. Anyway, more to come. Talk to you soon. Black Costume Spider-Man update. I've finished the masking and the pre-shading. I've modified my techniques slightly based on a build I saw in the Clubhouse of my Wolverine 1/6 scale from Mike Baldwin. A member with the handle Belrog did a beautiful build-up in which he did pre-shading, but he did it with brush on the creases of the muscles. Now, where he used oils with a slightly different color, more orangey, to enhance the creases, what I've done is, of course, I'll stick with my acrylics or urethane acrylics. I've used the Spies black straight out of the can with no thinning and a thick brush, and I've gone through all the creases. He did it after he painted. I'm going to do it before. I have no idea if this is going to work out, but if it doesn't, I guess I can always start all over. Anyway, I've taken the very dark gray that I used for Batgirl and added some white to make it lighter. It's still a very dark gray, but it's certainly going to be lighter than the pure black that I have there. My hope is that, oh, this thing is tight. My hope is that it'll contrast enough that it'll bring out the creases. Well, you can't really tell much here, but it is a gray. My hope is that it'll contrast enough that you'll see the creases pre-shaded, but it'll diffuse them enough that they won't look like lines. Anyway, here goes nothing. Talk to you soon. Back with the finale of black costumed Spider-Man. I finished him a few minutes ago, and I have to say I'm very pleased. Did some experimentation on the base, and I'll tell you what I did in a few minutes. Again, this is based on the cover of issue number 38 of Sensational Spider-Man. That's the Back in Black story arch. I believe it's a 4-part story arch, and I think it includes the death of Eddie Brock. That's why he's on the tombstone. As those of you that are fans of Spidey will know, Eddie Brock was taken over by the symbiote after Peter Parker got rid of it, and he became Venom. I don't know all the details. That was after I stopped collecting comics, although I do like Venom a lot, and I think he's a great character. But this is the sculpt that was commissioned by Joe Dakota, also known as Spawny vs. Batman, on the Clubhouse forum, and I'd like to give him a shout out for providing me with this beautiful kit. He has some beautiful stuff that he sells, so contact him through the Clubhouse forum if you're interested in any of these kits. Really nice guy. So let me just give him a beauty shot here, rotating him, and then I'll tell you what I did. Not sure if everything I tried to do worked. Tried to get a bit experimental with base and a few things, but all in all, I think it came out pretty good. I didn't want a plain gray stone slab type base. I wanted to simulate marble. I looked at some fall marbleizing techniques online. Usually they end up using some kind of a sea sponge. I don't have a sea sponge. I used a regular sponge with variable success. I went ahead and painted the bottom first, mixing a brown color. I tried to add some of this moss that I have from Michaels. Tried to make it look like it was growing up onto the slab there a bit. Don't know how good it worked, but looks cool, I guess. The marble I painted gray, then black, and then I splotched green with the sponge, and then splotched some white and sort of blended it together, also airbrushing some dark gray over it to blend it even more. It kind of looks like marble. It isn't 100% convincing, but it's pretty good. The lettering I painted with some to me a medium sea gray, and the cracks there I used a thin magic marker. I also added a few little lines here and there. And then I coated this part, which I masked off from this first, with dull. And then this part I coated with gloss, both of them testers. Him, as you know, well, if you don't, tell you now, he was coated with satin, Krylon satin. The paint is very dark gray, almost black, but very dark gray Spies. This is an off-white Spies. The spider, both on the chest and on the back, I used a magic marker to highlight the lines in between. And in the eyes, I brushed on some Future to give him some additional shine. You can't really see it too much in this lousy lighting I have. but they do shine more than the rest of the body. Very careful with this kit. He has a kind of a lean backwards. I CA glued him. He's got two big keys in the legs that fit right into the slab, but in one motion it fell off and I had to retouch over here. Screamed in panic when it happened. As you can see, he's kind of tilted backwards, so I have to really wait for him to dry before I start moving him around. But anyway, that's my black costume Spidey, 1/4 scale from the Back in Black Story Arch Sensational Spider-Man. And I thank you for looking, and talk to you soon.